Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Compass, your guide to everything crypto. Today we have the honor of sitting down with James. He is the founder of Mooncatz, a very successful NFT CCO project. He is also building a Twitter badge community called Here is Purple. I'm very excited to get into this. This is a very informative interview that goes over NFTs, that goes over founders, that goes over the process of starting your own NFT project and how to build yourself for success within crypto. Before we get started, please don't forget about my coaching program. Let me teach you to be a great investor, trader, or cryptoer. Let's jump right into it. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Compass, your guide to everything crypto. Today I have the honor of sitting down with James. James is the founder of an NFT project called Mooncatz, which is a CCO project. I actually got in with James. I reached out to him and he was working on the Mooncatz project at the time. And I was just looking at his career within crypto kind of formed throughout the years and I was very impressed. So James, can you start by telling us your experience and how you got into crypto?
Yeah, most definitely, man. First and foremost, I want to say thank you so much for having me here, man. Appreciate it. I'm excited to be here. This guy said he met me back in Mooncatz era, goes as far back as last year. That's when we minted in July. And it's been quite the journey in Web3, to be honest. And it's a pleasure to be on this space. And not a space. I say space because I'm on so many Twitter spaces, but it's a pleasure to be here for the video, the interview, podcast, whatever you want to call it, and just, be able to chop it up about you with Mooncatz, the new project. We got a lot that we've been cooking up, and I'm sure that there's some alpha for everyone that's going to be watching today.
Can we start with how you started Mooncatz and why you chose Mooncatz specifically? Because I know you were looking for a CCO derivative. I know you're a cat lover yourself, so am I. But why you, I guess, focus directly on the Mooncatz and focus on certain attributes, putting it out there, and basically what the Mooncatz mean, what the value is behind them.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah, Mooncatz was such a, opportunity in the market at the time when we had launched. I remember, looking back, there were so many projects at the time that were trying to launch moon derivative like projects and that nature. And a lot of people like to say that, oh, Moonbirds or Mooncatz is a derivative, this and that. I put out a thread on my, my Twitter. It's my pin thread because it's one of the most important. And it kind of dissects the differences between the two projects because, yeah, we got a lot of inspiration from Moonbirds. Without Moonbirds, I don't think there would be Mooncatz, but we've done so much to make that distinction between, derivatives and how we operate so much different. There's a reason that Mooncatz is here today with a floor price up 350%, a year later in an NFT market where most projects are down 99% for mint, right? It's because we focused on the community. We focused on actually building. We've had a vision since day one. And from the very beginning, we've actually made it something super, super fun. People remember, getting whitelist for our project and sort of like the whole hype behind it. It was amazing. For people that weren't there, I mean, we grew a Twitter from 0 followers to over 100,000 followers in less than 2 weeks. And the hype for this was insane. Every single alpha group, every single Twitter group, they're all reaching out for whitelist spots. They're all reaching out because they wanted to be a part of this. And it was such a crazy opportunity in terms of, could we have turned around and slapped the paid mint and milked the project for millions of dollars? Yeah, low key, yeah. We had such an opportunity to do what we wanted. I decided, no, I'm going to dox myself before we even put a penny into the smart contract. And so I wrote a whole thread. I put my face out there. I put my family, I put my location, my interests, just let everybody know hey, this is who I am. This is, where I'm from, what I do. And you guys can trust us. Because during that whole week, there's a lot of rugs going around. And I thought that aspect alone would take us, from derivative, oh, wait, maybe this might be something more, something special. And I think it helped. Ultimately, I don't think being docs moves the needle for projects. But I think today, in today's era of NFTs, it helps for sure. Back then, it definitely wasn't as important as people would just buy whatever. They didn't know me, before we grew to 100,000 followers. So it's crazy to look back and think, how much, we did and have accomplished, how much, has changed in the market since then, because, we minted at a time where, again, it wasn't even a great time. This was a not a bull market, but it wasn't a bear, the bear market that we've seen today. So for us to still be alive, surviving, thriving, it's awesome. And I can't thank anyone but the community, because it's the community that, obviously supports my ideas and keeps me alive at this point, right? They support the ideas that I create, and they're the ones that ultimately provide the liquidity to the project to be sustainable. So, you got to thank the holders, you got to thank the people that support the vision, or else you have nothing. Like the strongest projects understand like there's an underlying foundation, and that foundation is your community. You need to have people representing, wearing your profile picture on Twitter, tweeting about the project, being engaged, because if they're not, they're going to move into the next trendy thing. It's so easy for people to switch profile pictures or buy something else, or like move on from that Discord because you're not providing any more value after the mint. For them to stick around, you have to give them a reason, whether that be they feel a connection to you as a founder and they gain value that way, or they feel part of something, right? So you need to engage in an extra level if you want to build something. And for me, I think I learned a lot, the first 2 months, 3 months as a project founder. You're like, damn, you put in all this work. Where's the recognition? But recognition is going to come with time. Like even a year into it, we're just starting to get some of that like establishment recognition. That's like, oh, you guys have been here for a year. You guys haven't quit. You're still going. I might want to grab a Mooncatz. Well, I know that they're going to be here a month from now. I don't have to worry about it. So I think it's that, in time, if you're consistent and if you believe in whatever you're doing, people in this space are going to appreciate that. But that's not the biggest thing in the world, because ultimately the space is so small. So you shouldn't be focused on what people in this space think, because that's the problem with this space. Everybody thinks they have it figured out. Everybody thinks that, it's just an echo chamber right now of like a small population of people that are copying other ideas and other things. There's no innovation, and the room for growth is exponential when you look around and you go, wait, 9 out of 10 people actually don't know about NFTs or really care about them. Like, for being realistic, like go out on the street and go ask people if they care about Bored Apes and if they're worth $50,000 or not. Like, they don't. Like, they just don't. Like, so that is like, you can say that's bearish or you can say that's bullish, because that means there's a whole group of people now that we can try to bring that back to Web3, but they've already experienced Web3. Like, let's not, like, there was a bull run, right? And what happened was people got manipulated. They were lied to, and they got scam after scam after scam. And so when all these new projects come out and they say the same thing, the same roadmaps from 2021, 2022, people that were already in the NFT space from before that gave it a try, they're not going to try and like get re-involved with projects that are doing the same thing. So again, that's that innovation gap where it's like people have already been in the NFT space. It's not like this is anything new. And this is like, people say, oh, we're early. We're not early. Like, when we were early, when it was the Clubhouse days and we're minting Bored Ape Yacht Clubs on Clubhouse, and like, it's 2 weeks to mint out, and like, that's early. We're early in the technology and the innovation because like the technology has so much, adaptation, so much like utility potential. There is a lot of technology utility with NFTs, and then you can go so many different directions with memberships and, token gating. But ultimately, we're still very, very far from like, where we're actually supposed to be. And the reason I think that is because we funded so many different people that gave us the same promises, right? That gave us the same roadmaps, that copy pasted the same websites. And we, as, degens, I put money into all these founders' pockets. We invested in them, right? Like, we were the ones that were like, yeah, this is the next, project that's going to 50x. And that's not necessarily the case. You know what I mean? So I think there was a lot of learning that happened in the last few months in the NFT space, which is great. And that learning makes us smarter as buyers. And what comes with that, though, is like higher expectations for founders. Every project's going to pump 50x now, just like on a Discord announcement, because now projects are getting, vested a little more. Like, holders know like what to look for, what not to look for, how to stay safe, how to take profits, right? Because people weren't taking profits before too, right? People were just bag holding all the way. Now people are like ready to sell at any given moment that they can sell, right? Because they just want to sell and take their money because they know this might not last. Like, they've seen this before, which again, that's good. That's bad, right? Give or take. Everything has give and take. But yeah, I think the markets have changed a lot, and it's crazy just to see how everything is shaped.
Yeah, thank you for all that. I really commend you for being able to dox yourself and really put yourself out there, because not everyone's willing to do that in this market. Like, I would reach out to some people to try to get them on this interview, and a lot of them would just not even want to voice docs themselves, or show face. And I think it's very important these days to docs. Obviously that's a mixed opinion with people within even altcoin projects or people working with big companies. They like to keep that low-key profile, but I really commend you for how you built Mooncatz and how you said you gained that following on Twitter, and you literally built a whole project from basically nothing. Like, that takes work, it takes time, and it takes effort. And I think a lot of people are trying to do these rug pulls and trying to get really fast money, like really quick, and just trying to get millions of dollars and then just disappear from the market. A lot of people do that, but I see you as someone that's really wants a prosperous market and a community and something to really move forward. So I think that's all great, and I myself am a big Mooncatz believer. I'm a big supporter of your project as well too. So I did want to also ask you, I know that you recently brought up like staking into these NFTs, but I wanted to also ask, do you have anything for the future of Mooncatz? Like anything such as maybe like gameplay, metaverse gameplay, or just like a computer gameplay, or any other utility that Mooncatz are going to bring to the table soon or within the next year or so?
Yeah, for sure. So, Mooncats are cooking coming in the next few months. So actually not next few months, but like end of this month, August, next month, we'll have some new developments coming that we've been working on. We have a new website coming. And a lot of these things have taken sometimes a little bit more time than I expect. So I sometimes like to say end of the month, and it tends to be sometimes a little longer. Just development world is complicated sometimes, and I'm a perfectionist when it comes to things that I want to deliver. So I like high quality things, and I don't want to turn around and give the community something that I wouldn't be happy with, right? So for me, it's a quality over everything, and that's why I'm like trying to take my time with it. And even if that sometimes comes with a delay or two, I'm more comfortable with delaying and giving the community something that I know that they're going to enjoy. So the next few months we're going to increase what we have to offer in terms of, right now we have the staking, which is gasless staking. Amazing. You don't have to send your NFT to another wallet. You can retain ownership. You don't have to pay gas fees, and you can earn rewards from your Mooncatz and then use those to enter to win other free NFTs. So great way to, like earn value as a holder. And what we want to do is, like, right now people have stockpiled so much extra rewards and like don't know what to do with it because they max out every week on their free NFTs. And what can they do? Well, we've built other things for them that they're going to be able to do to leverage and then use those to hopefully monetarily gain, value in other ways from the project. And then the gaming side of things, I'm definitely interested in. I think with Web3 gaming, there's a struggle because nobody in the Web3 universe has created a game, right? Nobody. I mean, we're talking Bored Ape Yacht Club is like the guys that we're looking at for other side, and they don't have that yet. So who's going to come in and step in? I think it's not anyone that's like me or, your typical 24-year-old founder. I think it's Rockstar, someone with like gaming establishment already. If someone's going to do it, it's companies like that. And like, who am I to go against 20 software, engineers and developers? I am no match. And again, if I am to be a match, what I have to match is the amount of money that we raise, because now I got to pay people on a salary, and like there's a lot of things that come with that. I don't have the business experience. Like there's just a reality that comes with actually creating an operating game that's token gated with rewards and experiences. Like that costs a lot of money if you want to do something like crazy good. So you can keep it simple, and I've built simple blockchain experiences and done, things of that nature. And that's amazing. And I think if you do simple, that's great, but people want the most, right? People don't want simple. People are expecting a Rockstar game, right? They're expecting GTA 5 in Web3 fashion where they can connect and make money. But like, for that to happen, there's still like a huge gap, and we're going to need people like from that scene to come into this one if that's going to happen. So I think, again, Web3 gaming is great, and I want to integrate into things that make sense. So I don't want to be the builder. I want to be the integrator, right? Like I don't necessarily need to be the guy that's creating the game. I should just be ready to have the Mooncatz sprites created. So if we need to integrate into a game, that we can. Like for us, it's like, yeah, if there's opportunities for integrations, we'll make that happen. You know what I mean? And I think that's great. I think it's just a matter of finding those opportunities because they don't exist really. Like they're very far and few between. Shout out to DGen Gang, a project that we've integrated with. They built like a pixelated DGen like arcade Mortal Kombat thing. I think that's great because people can connect and play. They don't have to do all this like downloading something on their computer that takes up all this data. Like they can go and connect online. Bang, it's safe. That's the other thing, right? You got to know it's safe. protected, when people are connecting their wallet to anything, they're not going to feel safe about it automatically, even if it's just assign their wallet to connect to the site, because now people are like, what did I just sign? Right. Like, so even crypto gaming, there's like a huge safety gap that people are going to have to learn about, get over, and things of that nature. So Web3 gaming is such an interesting conversation because I love gaming. I think it's one of the most bullish things. But then also have, like, again, shout out to Ape Reunion, gaming ecosystem. It's an NFT project. I love Ape Mother. He's an amazing builder. He's built the whole game. It's dope, and it's underappreciated. And not that I think that will remain forever. There's a high chance it won't be. But for now, as it stands, there are games that exist in Web3 that you can connect with, play in your full playable skins, play with other players, chat, do everything like you would in like Minecraft. And they're, 0.03 floor. Like, those are the projects you think should be, 1 ETH or multiple ETH or whatever. But then it gets into the other conversation, which is, do I want to pay multiple ETH to play a game when I can go pay $60 to play, Call of Duty, right? So it's like, now when do we get to the conversation of like, too expensive, and how do we allow for those people to participate without having to pay multiple ETH to participate? How do we do Dookie Dash without having to pay 2 ETH for a Dookie Dash key, right? Like, how do we allow more people to play? Because then again, it's like DeGods right now. I love Frank. DeGods is killer, but like for DeGods to 10x, you're gonna have to see DeGods at 80 ETH. For another project to 10x, there's so many lower market cap gems out there probably, right, that have potential to 10x. But just being real, right? It's harder to go from 80 and to hit 80 and hit a 10x than it is for maybe there's plenty of other projects where you can throw some bread in and you can 10x, right? So the way it works, again, it's just like, you have to think about it. If you get into a project at 0.01 and it hits 0.1, you 10x. So if you threw 1 ETH at 0.01, if you got 1 ETH worth of them at 0.01, and then it's going to be 10 ETH. If you threw 1 ETH throw at, a project that's 1 ETH, that has to go to 10 ETH for you to 10x, right? It's not as easy. Now there's more liquidity involved. And of course, the same thing. It's not like, a project at 0.01 is going to go 10x just because it's lower. But what my point is that there's so much more opportunity sometimes in these bigger, more expensive projects. The good opportunities are when things are cheap. And then after they 10x from there, they could still be good projects, good opportunities, but you have to look elsewhere, right? And people need to look elsewhere in the markets because there's so many more opportunities outside of just, the things that have already done really, really well. That's what people need to think about. But also it's hard to find opportunity in this market right now, so I also understand the need to not either want to buy a project or just stay safe and, bet on people like that. But also I'm just speaking in terms of people that don't have the liquidity to really get into things of that nature. You know what I mean?
In the discussion of NFTs, I do have to ask you, we have these different sectors like gameplay, and then utility, and then even like AI and music. Within all these NFTs, there's so many different floors that are really low right now, right? A lot of people are claiming, and we're seeing NFTs hit capitulation. They're going super low, big sell volume. Are you still like as bullish as you were in the beginning on NFTs? Do you feel like there's going to be a new meta or like a new form of crypto that's popular that's going to be even more bullish within the next bull run?
I'm being 100% honest with you, bro. I'm just not as bullish on NFTs as I was. And that's because I think the space is like really lacking that innovation. People are looking to take profits. The sad part about the space is like, it's a conundrum because you have the best projects get the least attention. You have the worst art get the highest attention or the best, prices. The space is so backwards, right? It doesn't matter if you have good art. It doesn't matter if you have the best utility. It doesn't matter if you have every single thing that a project, is looking for, that the community wants. You could give the community everything they want on a platter and they'll go, it's not enough. What's next, right? That's how the NFT space works. And unfortunately, that's exhausting the founders, right? Because this what's next mentality is like, what do you mean what's next? Like Mooncatz was a free mint that said no Discord, no roadmap, good vibes, right? So the fact that we're even here with a gasless staking marketplace, with a Discord, with a website, with a community, actively doing spaces, actively doing giveaways, doing this, it's like all of this, and this is like extra from what you guys signed up for and clicked and signed and minted, which was just good vibes, nothing. Like, so for some projects, it's like when we came out here, raised maybe 30 ETH, no money, right? Now we have royalty stripped from us. What is the expectation for moving forward if you don't continue to raise money or don't have revenue streams, right? Like Do you just print money from thin air? Because that's the expectation from the NFT community is gimme, 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 what's next, when airdrop, when this, when that. But none of those people have actually stepped into the shoes of a founder and know what it takes. And then, the guys that do, I'll break it down like this, you have your guys that are like, I'm going to go start my own project. And then they don't sell out, or they don't know how to build a community, or they sell out, and congratulations to the people that do it. And then they flop a day or a week later because they don't know how to build and retain that community and actually incentivize that community, provide value. I think, dude, the easiest thing is being a founder when you're committed to one project. I think the hardest thing for me is I'm committed to Mooncatz. Here is Purple. I've tried helping my girlfriend out. We have another thing going with Yeti Friends that we're trying to figure out, and we might have to close, unfortunately, because of development stuff. So it's like Web3, I'm balancing all these projects and I'm trying to do my best to like help everything and everyone that I'm doing. But I wish, sometimes to an extent that I could have more team members to better manage my time in certain places. But like, if you only have one thing to focus on, and it's one thing, I'd be on Spaces or I'd be doing something. Think outside the box a little bit. Even for Mooncatz, like one of the biggest things that made us special was the password pages. Like when we did our marketing was just having people go on our website and guess a password and just being interactive, right? Because people look to copy everybody, like, so when you're doing things that are unique, even when they're simple, it's like, oh, this hasn't been done before. Cool. You know what I mean? So I try to do as much as that as possible, thinking outside the box. And then I'll like lay out the blueprint for other people. Like that article I wrote, right, was to help other people, other projects learn from my mistakes, do maybe what I did right and apply it, or do something differently that they might do and think they could do better. I'm all for that. Like I want to see the space move better direction. And that's why I put that information out. I don't hide anything. I try to be as transparent as possible. There's nothing I gain in hiding anything. And there's people way above me that I can always learn from. So I don't feel like I'm any better than anybody. Like I always try to do my best to keep it as real as possible in the community and help people to the best that I can with the knowledge that I've learned and the experience that I have. And I think it is beneficial and valuable. And I think that is also to an extent what adds value to our community, right? Like you can go and buy all these other projects that might have similar things, but you can't buy into that community and buy into the knowledge and the people, right? And we have knowledgeable people outside of myself, but like, myself included, I've been in this space for 3 years. I help people as much as possible with staying safe with crypto and their wallets and, the safety and the A to Z to that. But we have people in our community that do the same thing. And we have people that have social media content skills, like having people that have all these skills and connections and different assets and facets of the world, bring all of it together. That's what Mooncatz is. We are a staple of Web3 because I think we've been around for so long, and the notoriety that we've created in this space, hundreds and hundreds of people on our spaces consistently. Like even today, we could probably throw up a space and get 100 people, to come pull up to a Mooncatz Monday or something. Like we have a really strong community. And I think that, again, what we've done has been really spread out in Web3 thus far. You've seen Mooncatz at some point if you've been in the space for the last year, right? Whether you've seen someone wear it on Twitter, or you've seen someone make a post or something. You don't have to know Mooncatz. You don't have to know the name, but you've seen it because we have hundreds of people wearing cats and we have a 5,550 collection. Like, yeah, there are people that might have double what we wear, but then they have double the supply. So doesn't it make sense, right? If they have a 10,000 collection, shouldn't they have double the profile pictures out there because they have more unique holders, right? So when you do have more supply, there's that advantage of more awareness now because you have more people that can wear the picture. That's what people also love to compare is apples to oranges, right? They love to go compare a free mint to a mint that was 2.5 ETH, and they love to compare projects that have a 5,000 supply to a 10,000 supply and go, well, let's compare them. But we have two different unique owner accounts. That's why the numbers should be like this. So there's a lot of things in the space that people will not take into account and take at face value. And that's what's wrong with the space. That's what needs to change. But I believe in time it will. I'm just bearish at the moment, and I'm bullish long-term on the builders. And I believe it's people like the people that are building and trying their hardest, like Luca Nets and, Frank D Gods and, people in this, the space that have really laid out the blueprint, even for people like myself to take some inspiration from. Again, I'm like, I would say on my way to being on that status of Luca and trying to really bridge between Web 2 and Web 3. The path that he leads with positivity, including everybody, bridging, the businesses and the world of pudgy penguins from, corny Web 3, what it would have been, raised 9 million in VC capital. It's amazing. So I think we got to follow suit with the big dogs, look at the builders, try to, do our best to replicate that on a small level. Of course, if you don't have 9 million VC, you can't do everything Luke is going to do, but you can at least follow some of the characteristics, right? And those things will help you become a better project.
I did want to discuss Here is Purple with you about the community, the whole community aspect that you have with the badges. If you could summarize that in like a few sentences, that would be great. But obviously, I would love to also get you back on here another time to get more into depth in that, because I loved your whole take on Mooncatz and NFTs in general.
Here's Purple. We got something cooking. Account is suspended. We're working on getting it back. I have some threads on my profile to check out all the information that you want to know on that. So don't miss out. But yo, it's been a pleasure for us. I really do appreciate it, man. I'm looking forward to coming back, dude. It's going to be good.
Yeah, thank you, James, and wish you the best success with Mooncatz and all your projects. Here's Purple going forward. Keep building, keep doing your thing.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate you, Faraz. We'll definitely chop it up soon, man.
Yeah, we'll do. Peace.
Thanks, brother.
Thank you everyone for tuning in to this episode. We gained some great knowledge. I learned a lot. I hope you guys also learned a lot. Please follow James on Twitter. I'll be dropping his Twitter below. Please also follow me on Twitter. I'll be dropping that as well. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and hit that bell button so you never miss another one of my videos. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.